Should I offer comfort to my nervous dog? As a dog trainer who specializes in helping owners with nervous, fearful, and anxious dogs, this is a question I commonly get asked. And I know there's a lot of confusion around this because there's a lot of conflicting information out there about you should be offering comfort to your dog in stressful moments, or you're just reinforcing a bad state of mind, so we shouldn't be offering them comfort. But in reality, neither of those two things really touch on the full answer for this question. So in this video, I want to give you the full answer of should you be offering your dog comfort in stressful situations, and how best you can support your dog through uncomfortable, scary, or stressful situations. And there's specifically 3 steps I'm gonna share for how you can best support your dog in those moments. So let's get into it. So I wanna start with how we as humans naturally give comfort to each other. So when another person is particularly stressed, anxious, or nervous, we tend to offer words of encouragement to let them know that it's going to be okay. We're there to support them and give them whatever help they need. And we maybe use physical affection as well. So maybe that is rubbing them on their arm or giving them a hug. And this is native human language for comfort and support that helps someone else in a stressful situation. It's also important to note that when we ourselves are stressed out, we also tend to do a lot of talking. It's a normal human response to stress or nervousness that we start to talk a lot in those situations. And that's going to be very important in a little bit. So it's important to recognize that dogs don't process comfort in that same way. If you were to think about maybe a mother dog with a puppy, if that puppy was stressed out or panicking, you don't see that mother dog offering vocal communication, making sounds at the puppy. And we also don't see them using physical affection in those moments. And so our native human language for how we offer comfort to someone isn't how dogs perceive comfort. And so there's sort of a disconnect there in terms of different languages of comfort. And so we may feel that we're offering a dog comfort in a certain moment, but it isn't actually being processed that way by our dogs. So how do we actually make a dog feel better in a stressful moment? A dog in a stressful situation is actually craving guidance, not comfort. Because our comfort really doesn't translate for them, what we can give them in those situations that would make them feel better is guidance, letting them know what's happening, what's going on, knowing what to do in that situation can be really powerful. So us telling them what they should do in that situation can be really, really comforting for a dog, not our native human language of comfort. And so what does it mean for your dog when we do offer them our comfort? So we are talking to them a lot and we're maybe giving them physical affection. So there's 2 different ways that this can go. Best case scenario is that we're doing all of this talking while they're trying to figure out this stressful situation, or they're in panic mode, they're being very nervous or anxious about something. And the best case scenario is they learn that we're just gonna keep talking and they're gonna tune us out completely. And they're not gonna be listening because it's gonna become background noise from them. If we're constantly making noise, especially saying things like, it's okay, you're doing fine, it's gonna be okay, our dogs don't understand what those words mean. And so it just becomes sort of background babble noise. And best case scenario, they tune you out entirely, and all of that verbal input that you're giving and possibly physical affection in that moment doesn't even register for them at all. And so we're not making anything worse, but we're also not doing what we're trying to do in that situation, right? We're not actually providing them any help or guidance or comfort because they're not even paying attention to us. And it means that when you do want to offer them guidance, if we then are shifting and trying to offer them guidance that is going to help them through the situation, they're now in a space where they're very used to not listening to you in that situation. And so that is sort of the best case scenario, but you can see that that still has some significant downsides. In the worst case scenario, all of this communication that we're giving them and all of this verbal information and possibly physical affection are signals that are confusing to them in that moment. They don't understand what we're trying to tell them, and it can be adding more confusion and more stress for an already stressful situation. And in fact, your dog may be interpreting all of your vocalization and your physical affection as you being panicked and not knowing what to do. They're already panicked and not knowing what to do. So you can see how that would add to their sense of stress and confusion in that moment. And especially when your dog is craving guidance, if the signals coming from you are adding more stress and more confusion, we're giving them the complete opposite of what they need in that moment. And so we can actually add to their panic by giving them all of these signals. Now, there are some people that will say that giving your dog comfort and physical affection in moments where they're stressed out is going to reinforce their state of mind. So you're essentially praising them for the way that they are acting. I don't necessarily see this happening a lot. It can happen in some cases, but most of the dogs that I work with are in a high level state of stress. So when they're in that very, very high level state of stress, they're not looking for, is what I'm doing right or wrong? They're in pure panic mode. And when you are giving them all of these mixed signals, it just adds to their panic. It's not necessarily reinforcing. We're not telling them, you're doing a really good job panicking, you should do that more. But what we are doing is increasing their panic so that, yes, they are more likely to panic in that situation in future. So there is some truth to that you're reinforcing the stress or the panic advice, but it's not as black and white maybe as it's made to sound. So we've discussed that comfort as we express it as humans is not actually comforting to your dog, and that in fact us giving that communication could be adding to their stress, or at the very least we're not helping them. So I want to give you 3 things that would be better help for your dog in stressful situations. Number 1 is staying calm and confident. If your dog is stressed and panicking and they're looking at you and you are doing a lot of talking and you're doing all of this like physical affection and stuff, and you're showing them that you are equally panicked and stressed out, that doesn't help them, right? Whereas if they look to you and you are very calm and confident, and by dog standards, calm and confident also means relatively quiet, right? Then that is a better example for your dog to follow in that situation. If they're like, oh my gosh, I'm panicking, I'm freaking out, and they look at you and you are totally relaxed, then they have a sense of comfort in that situation of, oh, like, it's maybe not as bad as it seems. You're not panicking. Whereas if they are interpreting your comfort as panic with them, you can see how that adds to their sense of insecurity. So you staying calm and confident and being a really good example in that situation that there is no need to panic, that can really help your dog in those moments. Number 2 is giving clear guidance. So instead of saying things like, it's okay, you're gonna be all right, you're doing fine, well done, and these things that don't necessarily mean anything to them. Instead, if your dog is craving guidance, let's tell them exactly what to do. So giving them an instruction, a clear, well-known behavior that you've taught in a non-stressful situation, and you now ask for it in this situation because it's a well-known behavior, it's a reliable behavior, and we can ask them to do that behavior and then give them clear feedback on getting it right or getting it wrong, and helping them through that situation, and limiting your communication to giving instructions and giving feedback. That is going to be so much better for your dog to finally give them clarity on what is happening, what's expected of them, and what they should be doing. We're going to make you the driver of this situation. You're going to take control. You're going to show them what they need to do, and they can have that weight off their shoulders of figuring it out or feeling like they need to go on the defensive for themselves, etc. And then the third thing is advocating for them. So if your dog is very stressed, for example, with people or dogs invading their personal space, if you can show your dog that you are going to listen to their body language, see that they're uncomfortable, and therefore protect their personal space, keep other people and other dogs out of their personal space, that gives your dog comfort knowing that you have their back, that you're going to keep them safe, and that they don't need to worry when you are with them. And so that's going to provide them a much better sense of safety and comfort than any of our human forms of comfort ever could. So I hope that helps clear up all of the sort of misguided information I think there is around should you comfort your dog. It's not necessarily that you are reinforcing a bad state of mind, but we have to recognize that how we interpret comfort isn't the same as how our dogs do, and we need to shift what we're offering them in those moments to truly provide the guidance and therefore comfort that they actually need. If you are someone who is struggling with your dog's nervousness, their fears, anxieties, or insecurities, then I am excited to tell you about my online program. It is made for owners just like you to give you the full start to finish solution to take your dog from nervous, insecure to calm and confident. There's over 5.5 hours of videos with lesson and tutorial content inside the course. There's a supportive community you get to be a part of, live Q&A calls with me, personalized homework feedback, and the ability to ask me unlimited questions on anytime, all the time. So it is a full, in-depth, start-to-finish program with abundant support and accountability, and the students on that program see amazing results, overcoming things like fear-based reactivity, separation anxiety, resource guarding, fear of handling or grooming, going to the vets, things like that. So I hope that you found this video informative. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. Make sure that you like and subscribe to see more content like this, and I will see you in the next one.